For SMU, of course, we have the most fantastic roster out there. We got King of Fish as well as Cheeky the Fish, not related there. Dom Books, which I love, and Hurricane Ryan, and then Sidnu coming out in top to support order.
Okay, and I don't really know too much about them. I know a lot of them are AD carry mains specifically on this roster. So
yeah.
You know what? I'm going to keep an eye on this bot lane because I feel like if Hurricane Ryan ended up being the AD carry for the team on a roster full of AD carries, that means he has to be the best, right? That's how you get the spot.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? Taking a look at Bryant University Bulldogs, though, we got Satisfaction K in the top side, Smashing Alloy at, of course, a jungle, Mr. Magic Sheep at mid, Wasting UDP 12 at ADC, and then the 8 Waffles at support. And I just love to imagine that she's literally just 8 waffles stacked on top with like a trench coat over, and like, I am human, I'm playing League of Legends.
You know, that actually sounds kind of tasty. I've also not quite had food, so I'm a little bit hungry. That's it. That's a tough one. I'm actually thinking about that. And ideally, for the side of Bryant, you don't fall behind. Cause,
right, like, that's the ideal.
Yeah, because it kind of depends on who falls behind as well, right? So if it's the Ezreal who falls behind, it's not the end of the world. You're actually still okay, because Ezreal in this situation can play safe. And in fact, I'd actually argue that Ezreal should fall behind in this lane. One niche little thing about Twitch that we don't see too much about, or too often, is that Twitch can actually outrange the arcane shift. So if Twitch starts unloading on you, you arcane shift away. Spray and pray actually extends your range enough that oftentimes we'll see, especially the old AP Twitches, but later game AD Twitches, will just kill Ezreal before he can get to safety. You've got to both flash and arcane shift to get out. So if wasting UDP ends up losing the lane, that's fine. That's okay, the Ezreal skill. But if your Master Yi and your Darius lose the lane, that's when we've got problems, Orbital, because those two don't have a good comeback mechanic, and those two are the big threats. At that point, you're praying that Mr. Magic Sheep can get a huge, massive 5-man engage, or at least find the back line. But that's very conditional. That's why I said I would rather Bryant not fall behind, because they don't have a lot of options to get back in.
And if this is how the series is going to turn out, I think it's important that you and I lay down the reason why these types of conditions, like every game of League of Legends has a condition set, right? That we call them win objectives or anything like that, right? Requirements to win, objectives, you got to take care of it. When we talk about conditions to win, there are some that are easier to execute than others. And the ones that I dislike the most are ones that literally rely on you win or you lose. Like there's no other way to come back. It's so difficult that you only have one opportunity to really make your way in. So that's why we're kind of really looking at this Master Yi, at this Darius, these champions that do require things to go a little bit more in their favor than other champions. Right now, though, King of Fish, realizing this might be a problem as a wave is currently stacked a little differently. And, I mean, we were curious. We were watching for that level 2 to hit and if things were going to get spicy, but actually it's the bottom lane as Wasting eats a decent chunk of damage without really turning anything back.
Yeah, that's kind of tough, unfortunately, for Wasting and 8 Waffles. A lot of that bot lane relies on the karma that 8 Waffles is piloting. If she can land the poke, they're going to be fine. But if the minions get in the way, then they'll have massive problems. Topside, Satisfaction trying to find the all-in here. And as a Darius, that's what you want to have done. Satisfaction has actually been eating a lot of minion damage, which is why they're down right now in terms of health.
Let me say that, but that's only at level 2. You don't have the apprehend just yet, but King hits it first, and he's going to try and get that damage, but now you're in trouble, right? That is such a dangerous spot to be in. I mean, I'm amazed Satisfaction wasn't like, I want to try and all-in and get the flash, right? Because that could have been a real threat.
Satisfaction's playing this really patiently, because you actually have the kill threat. Even if you pop that cellular regeneration, the passive from Zac there, you're not going to survive as Zac. The moment you get popped, Darius will just blend you. That's why we were joked about the jelly in the blender. And so Satisfaction K wants to be able to all-in and just kill you, flash or not. Satisfaction K is running flash and ghost, so you can definitely run down this Zac. That flash will only save you if it gets you under turret.
All right, well, with that being talked about, we set things up because that top lane is kind of spicy and I want to see it happen. However, the junglers are setting up their own interesting path. You can see him now rotating over as Cheeky the Fish realizes that the enemy jungler is in view. Smashing Alloy can't really do much, but they are going to pinch. Now take a look as well. Mr. Magic Sheep actually has the inside track, so it is going to be SMU that's actually run out of the jungle. Ghost going out, though. Satisfaction saying I want it. And a good
Flash?
flash out. Cheeky says, I want, but it's a flash ghost instead. Cheeky, you are going to be first blood. There is not a chance. A live flash out for Mr. Magic Sheep, but first blood to one of the worst champions to give it to SMU. A little bit frustrated as Satisfaction will get the kill.
I'm going to be honest, overall, there was no good champion to give that one to.
Nope.
Massive E-skills. Darius is going to smash the lane. And even Annie would be a problem for Lissandra to deal with if she gets fed King of Fish. Now going into Satisfaction, I don't know. I don't know if that's what you want. I don't think you ain't going to get no Satisfaction doing that.
You really weren't, but on the spot side is another question as a power Q owns away. What a brutal showing. Now Flash on the side of Expedition is able to turn it around. You do go into the Ghost Storm. A little bit of a quietness and sneaking around the Krugs, but SMU able to trade it back, but Bryant with the overall pressure is starting to win in some of these exchanges.
Yeah, I don't think Hurricane Rara is expecting that burst of damage to come through right there. Kind of got caught a little bit with their pads down. And 8 Waffles wasting, doing a good job finding that kill. Problem is, wasting went down, Expedition didn't. Now, thankfully Expedition didn't stay around trying to get the CS. It was very, very risky, and 8 Waffles did a lot of damage. So the bot lane will be kind of safe, and actually the true beneficiary of this is going to be Cheeky the Fish, who got to pick up quite a few minions to the bot side, accelerate themselves, especially considering what happened to them on the top side of the jungle. Getting a little bit of help to alleviate that is huge.
We'll see if they can rotate it a little bit further in. This is going to be a level 6 hit. Almost immediately, Dombook said, hey, Mr. Magic Sheep, you're not really magic right now. There is no Flash Ghost. Keep that in mind. So Dombook said, I can go for this one. Cheeky the Fish going to route that Annie, and it is going to be a kill back. Granted, on Alessandra, it's not perfect. It doesn't have that major damage. Oof. However, getting a kill back either way, putting it 2-2.
Yeah, and he kind of just want to win the 1v1. Oh, no Frozen, no Glacial Tomb available. Is Smashing Alloy wants this? Nah, Smashing Alloy just wants to farm. I just realized, Orbital, I've been calling him Doombox. It's Dombooks.
Yeah, that was a fun part.
My bad.
It's a good name. I like it. Also, wasting, one of the funnier things as well is Wastings is a way to say it, and I went wasting. I have no idea if that's the way we're supposed to say it either.
I don't know if I just got a list of typos. I was given the name Washing Up. It's wasting up.
Well,
apparently.
you know, yeah, you know what's not. Hey, waste, there's not a chance out. That's a good way. Arcane Shift, you're safe, but it's a good gank, right? Cheeky trying to make use of this clear. It is going to be Grubs on the top side, though. So it will be Bryant to go ahead and collect all 3. Good pickup. Wasting in the 8 Waffles. Saying, yeah, this is going to be ours. That's a dangerously low, and I keep forgetting it's actually not that low, right?
Yeah. That's it. I think that's the right choice from the side of SMU here. Because you aren't going to win that top side, right? So Cheeky the Fish, Xinjiao. Let's talk about the champion a bit. He's a strong early ganker. He's an amazing duelist. What you want to do is get some ganks down and apply pressure with the Xinjiao. But that doesn't work when you've got a Darius into a Zac topside. Your Zac does not have the pressure, and Darius can 1v2. So instead of going for that, Cheeky the Fish says, we'll go down bot and get our priorities there instead. We'll go down to this lane where we are already winning, and I will make them win harder in exchange.
Not just that, get extra behind Dombooks, though, saying, I want a chance, but what a turnaround! That is the Annie damage, and we talked about it. Just raw mechanical skill. Hashtag skilled. That is Mr. Magic Sheep to get the kill.
Hashtag skill. I face rolled and won. I mean, Annie just
Listen, there are like 4 champions that can do that. One of them is Annie, second one Syndra, third one I'm pretty sure is Katarina, because all you do is face roll on that champion. That's it.
Sona, the original face roll champ. But to be fair, I mean,
True.
When you pick Annie, you're not picking it for the mechanical skill. You're picking for decision making. And props to Mr. Magic Sheep, recognizing that Lissandra doesn't have that much damage. If she doesn't kill me in one rotation, I can kill her in one rotation. And that's why the early gold for Dombooks was important. Because if you can get to the point where you can actually pull off the kill, you're good. If you can't, that happens.
And now Cheeky the Fish still lining up exactly what you said, RMC. Good double tag as well. Gets a slow on both, and there's only one flash. I mean, there's not even a flash there. One more shot will do it, and Expedition finds the end of the Expedition. Great kill 2-0 to the Twitch.
And you know what? For Waffles to go down there, that's fine. As a support, you got your AD carry out. That's the important thing, right? Wasting survives. Dombooks now trying to find the gank top lane, but a quick ghost means nothing will be found. But Bryant not in position to reciprocate anywhere on the map.
I mean, I'm liking this, right? Early pressure by SMU, trying to lay things down and also trying to invade. Smashing Alloy was roaming into the enemy jungle to get some farm and trying to take one over Cheeky, but now it's only caused a rebuttal, right? Everyone's kind of invading and now causing a little bit of a shift. This is a problem if you're not keeping track of the enemy jungler. Mr. Magic Sheep will fall. Count him. That's 1-2.
Good rotations. You don't expect the Milio gag on Satisfaction by being
No, that's Satisfaction with full, and that's going to be a cleave, but look at the slam back. King of Fish wins. That's a dub, and on the bot side, we're getting another fight. Wasting is trying to run away, but with the Master Yi coming in, it's going to be a whole other story. Good boot back, and Smashing Alloy can't follow up. But all of a sudden, SMU St. Mary looking much stronger.
Yeah, when I spoke to Bryant, when I spoke to 8 Waffles, she had said that one of the things is that rank-wise, these teams are fairly equivalent, but they're putting great respect on the coordination that St. Mary's University can put out. And we saw it right there, the roam up from the Milio. That's not a normal roam, but it was what they needed to be able to get that gank off in the mid lane. And the coordination in the bot side as well, you know, the way Expedition just barely got out. The exhaust onto Master Yi doesn't cut his movement speed because of his ultimate, but it does reduce his damage, right? And that was what all it took for Expedition to be able to walk out alive.
And then we have to talk about the top side very briefly before Dragon comes up. I mean, King of Fish, that's not, you were talking about, that's not a lane that I think Zach is really supposed to win.
No, and I guess we found out what happens when you throw jelly into the blender. Sure, the blender will blend it up, but it will also gunk up the blades. Unfortunately, in that case, Satisfaction, I think, taking a bit too much damage from the minions as well. We've seen that repeatedly throughout the laning phase. Zach doesn't have that much damage himself, but the minions help out, and Satisfaction has to be aware of that.
It can't happen again, right? These are lanes that we talked about. Brian, their win condition is literally win early and you have value. That's really it. At this point, Smashing Alloy, you have 1 assist, but you haven't done much else. Yes, you have a CS lead, but you want to start expanding upon that. You also went a little bit more defensive, right? We see the Merc Treads coming out, which is respectable, right? But when we talk about Master Yi's, you want to go all in. With the upcoming grub takes as well, this is going to be a big challenge. Smashing Alloy is here, but look at the wars going down in the hard road state. However, Expedition's still on the bot side.
Well, Wasting and Waffles have actually moved up completely, so all 5 members of Bryant wanting to link up together at this second set of Void Grubs, and they succeed.
Wow.
Yeah, they chased out SMU. Now, keep in mind, Expedition never left the bot lane, so Expedition going to get some plates and going to get a bunch of CS to his name.
It is, but here's the thing. I'm still watching the minimap, right? And it's SMU going to try in a 4v5, and keep in mind, this is a flank by Mr. Magic Sheep. Magic Sheep does have flash, and this could be a big blow. They're going to jump in and walk right in, but that's only 1 stun on the back end. It's Smashing Alloy to get chunked out because that's the main goal. Good smite. SMU deny, I believe, all 5, but look at the damage coming out. Even though the grubs aren't being taken, it's the kills going their way. Satisfaction able to clean up 1. The bleed is just too good, wasting away, about to get another, and that's Annie to pick up their 2nd. No kills go the way of Wastings, but the kills do land in Bryant's pocket. That is going to be a big dub for them as they lose no one.
Interesting where the kill distribution went as well, but a lot of gold into Satisfaction's pocket. And I was getting a bit worried for Satisfaction because King of Fish had completed a very early Thornmill to deny away a lot of Satisfaction's laning power, but with this gold influx, that top side should be fine. My bigger concern now is this bot lane for Bryant, because Expedition was there the entire time. Sure, Bryant has equalized the gold as a team, but the bot side still has a massive deficit.
Okay, so bot lane, we're getting something. Expedition has to run. We saw a little bit of boots out. I didn't know Mr. Magic Sheep still had flash, like you say, but Satisfaction now running. As much as we were talking about all this, it's kind of scary, right? All the kills went to the side of Satisfaction, but the rest of the lanes are a little bit questionable, and now we're going to see that kind of tug and pull. SMU kind of upset.
Yeah, and SMU going to be able to fight this dragon, right? They are strong here. Now, it's important to note Expedition has not based and actually spent that gold yet. So they're actually, I thought they were stronger, thinking right now, they're actually not as strong as I had hoped. What will swing this in their favor is Dom Books pushed out Mr. Magic Sheep. They'll flash!
And they were able to grab that flash out, and now you just round them down. This big wing con could be the tipping point. We said SMU just need to slow them down, and they get the kill. They're now stacking the dragons. RMC, Bryant's window, feels like it's still open, but going even, we talked about it. You don't want to go even. You want to take a lead. Well done by SMU to collect the 2nd dragon.
But remember, Orbital, in the beginning when we talked about where the lead needs to be and who can fall behind. For Bryant, it is Wasting who can afford to fall behind. So I'm still okay with this, where Expedition is getting ahead. That is huge for SMU, right? That's their win con. But Smashing Alloy still doing really, really well, and that's the one who's going to deal with Expedition later. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Magic.
So this is the other side of the Annie matchup that you mentioned, right? Annie, you don't pick Annie for the getaways or anything like that. You pick it for the decision making.
Yep.
For that reason, you're very, very vulnerable if you don't have flash.
Yeah, and unfortunately also, like that's not like Mr. Magic Sheep was overextended. You were basically under turret. The burst damage from SMU is just high enough. We talked about where the gold went for Bryant. Well, the gold for SMU went to Dombooks, right? Malignant's already completed fairly early on. A needlessly large rod already picked up. So you just need a little bit more damage to tip it over and find that, oh no, not exactly a solo kill, but to successfully complete that gank on a little bro.
I mean, we're talking about the breakpoints. We're talking about where the gold's going. There's not a whole lot of gold going Smashing Alloy's way. This Master Yi that we see picked up needs to get a little bit more help. Yes, you're getting the objectives, and yes, you're getting farm. But we've yet to see this other tipping point really be that breakaway. So I'm kind of curious. Hextech Soul is also up for play, which is going to draw a lot of focus towards those junglers. In the top line, King of Fish tried to bounce Satisfaction into turret range, but not going to have it. Instead, they flash in. And King of Fish doesn't have Cell Division, so Satisfaction says, you're mine. Rampage for the Darius, 5-1-0.
Not gonna lie, when that Noxian Guillotine didn't kill King of Fish and still had like, what, 15% health, I thought it was done. One more swing was enough to take it in. Cheeky the Fish has to think twice if you want to go for this Darius. You might win, but that's a kind of big might there. I'm not convinced. And speaking of mights, we should also probably clarify, as you correctly called Orbital, SMU picked up 2 of the Void Grubs, so we will not be seeing Void Mites. The only way we get to see what we affectionately refer to here as Twitch chat, the Void Mites, will be coming from the Herald in Smashing Alloy's inventory.
That's still one of the best things in the world. I forgot who came up with that, but I love
Yanni.
the idea of... Okay.
It was
there, and then also like a few other people. Yeah. By the way, who we're talking about, Yanni will be joining on the desk. There's another series coming up. A kill off the screen, though, because we're talking about this game right here. Satisfaction about to get killed here, but Cheeky the Fish has to run away. Good save by 8 Waffles, but she cannot deny the follow-up. Smashing Alloy trying to jump in, but you can't. And you might actually have to use the ult to run away. You're going to get on top of that scuttle. And you are going to run, but there's the ult because you're getting pinched. You're on the wrong side of the map. Especially Alloy can't get booted out of the Hextech Gate. Hextech Dragon for the win.
Tactical reposition, Orbital. A very successful one. Smashing Alloy breaking ankles with that Master Yi speed and able to get out of a very rough position. Expedition.
Oh, big burn as well. I think Wasting has to burn the heal, but it is done. No AP to slowly poison them to death, but it's enough. That is SMU collectively grabbing massive pressure in mid and top.
And that's what we're talking about with this Twitch Orbital. The fact that your range is so incredibly long. You force the Arcane Shift, you force everybody out, you almost find them. It's only going to get worse from here. Expedition had an accelerated lane phase, had some kills to their name, and
Why are you here? Why are you here?
Hey, come on, man. Wait, that's Wasting's jungle. Not anymore. Well, unfortunately, losing that mid lane outer turret has put the jungle in a dark spot right now, and you can't be taking those Hextech gates without the wards on the end of it. And overall, this is the kind of problem. I was going to ask, who answers Expedition right now? I don't... Smashing Alloy isn't online. You can see the gold difference. The biggest gold difference is actually coming from that jungle wall. Or, actually, no. About the same as the bot lane. But that's kind of a problem, because that means Expedition's up, who's a big carry for SMU. And the answer to that, Smashing Alloy, is down. So we can almost add that together and say it's a 3k deficit almost in terms of the strength relative to each other on these teams.
It's just dangerous. However, Satisfaction is about to try and increase their gold lead or decrease the deficit of the team chasing in. King of Fish is going to get run down, but take a look, the TP coming in, and that's the wrong way for the slingshot. King of Fish was like, why didn't you tell me you were going to TP in? Why didn't you tell me we were going to do that? I could have slingshot back in. However, Smashing Alloy wants a taste here as well. I'm not sure you want to fight this, though. This is double up on the ult, and there it is. It's just easy CC. Good Q to come out, but you weren't in alpha. You are gone.
Okay, you know what? We need to add to that deficit overall, because I forgot. John Books, the answer to Smashing Alloy, pardon me, is also up in gold right now. So it just feels like all the answers that Bryant had originally are being stifled right now. And throughout all of this, Expedition was just pushing that mid lane completely, utterly free. At this point, with the level lead, with the item lead, Expedition can hold a lane 1v2 against Wasting and Waffles.
And I feel at this point that's lending itself to SMU's strength right now. We talked about Bryant having that early game and needing that really good early game. It is one part of it, right? That is down. However, there is a very late game piece that can come about as well if you so wish, right? It is the last-ditch effort to get multiple kills on that Yi. However, on the top side, Satisfaction is trying to duel out and save their life. Dragon is not going to go down because the kills are going to happen. It's a split fight as the map is split down the middle, but it's kills all the way through SMU, whether it's top or bot. We'll gather everything as Cheeky gets a cheeky quadra.
What on earth, Orbital? And let's not forget how this bot fight went down. This was a numbers disadvantage for SMU. And out of nowhere, Cheeky gets the quadra. That was a 3v4 with Dragon being leashed by the side of SMU. And because of this, Orbital, I don't know where to go. We have Bryant right now. What do? We stalled. Satisfaction K did a great job up top. We got the numbers advantage down bot. We let them leash the Dragon. They took the early damage, and it just did not matter.
And I mean, I was talking about, I was getting onto the cusp of saying, you know, there is that last-ditch effort. There is a singular option that you can play for. It's not really conditioned. It's banking on the opponent of you get all of these shutdowns. You're praying for massive gold like that last team fight that just goes awry for SMU. You're praying it funnels into Smashing Alloy because Smashing Alloy is 0-4-2. That's your bait, right? That is your hope. But at the current moment, SMU are doing so well playing around this Master Yi, this Fed Darius. It is completely respectable and impressive.
Oh, Twitch chat does not get joined this game whatsoever.
Nope.
Bryant did not take a ride on that Herald. So one thing to note is that a lot of times you talk about getting on the Herald because you do additional damage. If you can take it down without riding the Herald, you don't need to ride the Herald. So that's perfectly fine. Dombooks looking for Mr. Magic Sheep, not able to find this. This is a chance right now for Bryant because Smashing Alloy is in the area. Oh, Smashing Alloy walked away. Never mind. I was going to say they could try and kill the Lissandra, but no. They decide they need to cover Baron, which is probably the right strategic call.
No. You're not just covering. You're looking for the kill. Satisfaction has walked too far up, and you flash into the knockup. Smashing Alloy can't even help. Satisfaction is dead. You are unsatisfactory right now. King of Fish now rounding Smashing Ally, who is getting smashed out of the lane. That's going to be a jump in. Good curve around the wall to stave off death. But SMU, the Huskies are running wild right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Bulldogs just don't have an answer. And, oh, another catch. Smashing Alloy.
Smashing Alloy, and in the bot side too, it's just death all around. It blossoms all over. SMU can do no wrong. RMC, we said come mid-game, if SMU are even, they're going to feel great. They're ahead by 1.5 miles. There ain't no stopping them.
7k gold advantage right now, soon to grow, maybe a 10k by the time they're done with this Baron as well. There are turrets right for the taking on the side of Bryant, and SMU, they've just played this so incredibly well, bro. It's not just the composition they drafted that said, hey, as long as we skill up, we'll be able to take this. It's mechanically how they've been doing this as well. The fact that SMU, that teamwork Bryant talked about, that they respected so much come into play. They move first, they group first, and they push first.
And I think that overall is a big thing that Bryant are going to have to take a look at game number 2. In about 2 minutes, we are going to have Hextech Soul ready to play for. And SMU, if they get that, there is no running away. We saw how Smashing Alloy barely got away that time. There's no way you're running from an Hextech Soul. You will be slowed to oblivion. All of the spell reeling will be up even faster. Like, SMU have got some of the most perfect Rift options available in the global objectives to literally almost gift them game number 1. Wasting, you gotta run. You gotta run. You don't want to be here. Over the wall you go.
And there we go, Expedition just opening up as well, soloing this out, but no, the snipe from Wasting.
All right, you're able to get 1. How much more can you get? Wasting is going to try their best, but look at that. 2 out of... You fall! You are able to flash away, but it just falls another flash behind, and now you are dead. And because a Waffles got chunked, you have to burn Flash on the Karma as well. Smashing Alloy can't even kill Dombooks for good reason, and Satisfaction is just now entering the fight. SMU, yes, they lose 1. It's not the worst thing in the world. You missed a Q! Dombooks, no! Dombooks, no! Rest of the team going to come in to help clean up. There's an jump forward, and it's just death. Dombooks says, all right, I might have messed up. Hopefully no one saw me, as SMU are going to take bot lane tower.
Not even close, Overlord. Not even close. Dombooks didn't need that Q. They knew. They were fine. Yeah, SMU just trying to run over this game utterly and completely. And You know, I'm thinking about it overall, and the more I think about it, it's unfortunate that we bought off-road junglers versus off-road AD carries, because the AD carry, the highest ranked player for Bryant, off-rolling into the AD carry position, matching up against the best of a bunch of AD carries, right? Like we said, that's why Expedition got the spot. It's just kind of pitting your weakness into another team's strength. It's such an unfortunate matchup, and and if you're Bryant, you're thinking a little bit about game 2 at this point. I don't think you're coming back into this one. Smashing Alloys 0-6-2. That was one of your big shutdown conditions, which isn't available to you right now. You're down almost 10,000 gold. For Bryant, what do you do into next game? Do you continue trying to play this like high risk, high reward style with Master Yi and this scaling bot lane? I almost feel like I want to see more aggression in the bot lane.
I mean, the aggression is going to come to you one way or another. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. You're going to try Smashing Alloy gets to the back, and what was hoping to be a Pensa, but that's only in a Master Yi dream. Right now, it's a nightmare. As 4 die in the blink of an eye, 8 Waffles is the only one not eaten up.
Baron is down, so I don't think they can actually win on this particular push. Again, we're only 25 minutes into the game. Death timers aren't that long, so it is going to take a bit longer, Orbital, but the game is speeding up as they're getting stronger. And Cheeky the Flash about to pick up Hextech Soul, so that nightmare situation you're talking about, we are getting there, as if it didn't already feel like it.
Why is it not already a nightmare? Like, you're 0-7 and it feels really bad. Like, for Master Yi, you saw the idea behind it, right?
Yeah.
You saw the idea, and I really respect it. But it is true that things did not go your way. Right now, you are praying for that silver lining in there. Right now, everyone is split. There are some kill bounties available. Maybe you get something. Maybe you start getting 4 or 5 extra kills in the back pocket, and maybe you get a fight on even ground. However, King of Fish is going to draw in the tippers, and down goes Smash Alloy for the prize. Rest of the team of SMU collide and collapse in the bot lane brawl, and once again, Waffles is the only one not eaten. SMU have free reign to dismantle the base.
And we said they needed one more fight. That's the fight they were looking for, Orbital. That's the fight they found. Waffles, you can wave clear. Is there a hero moment here? There's not even somebody you can try and take out. So Waffles going to sit at base and watch as the Nexus crumbles before their very eyes.
You know what? Sometimes you try and bluff your way to a pot, and
well, Orbital, this is a safe base. Why don't you tell me about your fears? What concerns you about this problem?
Too much. Let me get my chair out real quick. Oh man, listen, I had a bad time one time when I first was trying to play competitive. I may or may not have gone like 0-4 in the opening day of a tournament. My competitive career ended there. That was all I did. So.
And were you the Malphite or the Volibear?
There is a saying in my group, by the way. Anyone watching, there is a saying amongst my friends. Daniel's Malphite Rs are as bad as anything, and I was like. That's mean. It is such a large skill shot. Apparently, I missed it one too many times.
Bro, it's point and click.
don't yell at me for that. That was my reaction too.
It's fine. You're a caster now. Caster minions, we don't have any skills. We just auto. Just right click only. Okay, so that's it. I am also a little bit afraid for Smashing Alloy. We kind of touched on it. The fact that you're an armor tank and Volibear is an AP mage. Cheeky the Fish is about to
I mean, listen, I was joking. We were joking because we didn't think this was gonna happen. And Cheeky is going to give first blood. It does go the way of wasting as well.
Okay, that's actually really good for wasting. Kane does take some time to come online, so being able to scrap early is good. Being able to get gold early, even better. If you're a fan of Bryant right now, you love to see it. But let's go back to the top lane that we were talking about. Or maybe not, because you know, I'm actually a little bit scared. Like, normally bot lane they trade at level 1, that's fine. But Draven has kill threat, so I get a little bit concerned. So in the meantime, top side. Yeah, as Malphite, what are you going to do? Poke this Volibear? He doesn't care. Look, he just shoots up and just keeps going with you. And you will lose the extended trades against this Volibear.
And also is a lethal tempo Volibear, by the way. That isn't a conquer. That is lethal tempo. The longer you stay in combat, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah.
So it is a good idea to keep eyes. Expedition right now, level 2 first. They're going to walk forward, and 8 Waffles is not going to enjoy that exchange. Again, just 2 axes. It's pretty much an extra longsword in your back pocket. Now Smashing Alloy is getting smashed. This is kill threat range. One more auto attack. I don't think you're going to flash afterwards, though. You have won that lane respectively. Lightning, though. Smashing Alloy, you got to realize that Volibear has way more ways to damage you than just his paws.
Yeah, I'm scared from smashing Alloy even with the Malphite passive through that shield. If King of Fish gets 3 autos on you, you're dead at that point. So that is so scary that smashing Alloy is opting to stick around, and there's a huge wave here if King of Fish wants to go for it.
All right, there's the auto attack. I was like, where's the auto attack going down? But
2,
that's going to be the kill.
3.
One more slap is enough, and King of Fish knows his champion RMC. We were talking about it in this top lane. It just doesn't even feel like it's a champion. King of Fish is just a king.
Yeah, and that's why I said 3 autos. Literally counted them off, Orbital. And unfortunately, smashing Alloy perhaps not as familiar with the mechanics of Volibear, because when's the last time you saw a Volibear top or otherwise, right? So that's why we're scared, and this lane does not get easier for Malphite as it goes on. On the side of Bryant, they want to unlock this top lane as soon as possible, and there's 2 ways you go about that. One, you just kind of say, well, we lose this lane, get the Malphite out of there, we'll lose the turret, whatever. The other is you take a turret somewhere else so that you can rotate lanes out. But where do you go? Vladimir needs time to scale. Bot lane, you're seeing Satisfaction struggle to push into the likes of a Draven because you are a melee into range, and Windwall has a very long cooldown.
At this point, it feels like it is going to be that attempt by Wasting to utilize that first blood that they got to get some value, because it's definitely not happening on the spot side. 8 Waffles is going to get some help, but Dombooks in the mid lane is going to actually receive the first gank. We were talking about that bot or top. It's mid. Mr. Magic Sheep getting a little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah, and last game, you know, it's Cheeky the Fish going everywhere. Cheeky the Fish now into the bot side.
I mean, this worked last time. Good flash out by 8 Waffles. Good damage, though, is enough. Remember, there's nothing else behind. It's an easy pickup. And RMC, you hear the coins jingle. You hear the coins hit the ground. You know that's one step already for Expedition to gain a 700 gold lead. As we're talking, smashing Alloy is going to be made into iron by getting smashed bit by bit. You are running into the wrong side of the jungle with no TP, and you're going to be allowed to live. The king grants mercy.
Smashing Alloy still needs a way to go home. Wasting is there.
Alright, there we go.
Smashing into the lane. But let's not forget the last time what happened. There is no flash, so I'd be surprised if King of Fish opts for the dive.
Not the dive, but a little bit of safety. Good shield goes up, but King of Fish is going to fall. They are going to gift it to Wasting, and I do like this call. Give it over to the Kane, who can try and expand out in the rest of the lanes.
Yeah, Cheeky the Fish now waiting in the top side, but okay, bot side, no action for now. King of Fish has TP as well. So if SMU wants, they could just answer right away. I don't know if there's a ward that spotted Cheeky, but for now, top side will be safe, and it's bot side where action kicks off.
Once again, another knockup, and the Windwall comes out perfectly timed, but it's a bait, it feels like. Another knockup, but Exhaust is going to go down, and that Satisfaction, realizing you're not in a good spot. One more auto is going to do it. Yeah, auto a minion, but it doesn't matter. There we go. Stun doesn't come through enough, and Expedition is now going to wield those axes once again. Look at the minions, though. Minions might be able to trade it back, but it's not enough. Playing through the vision side. Well played, SMU. Expedition with 2.
For some odd reason, Orbital, watching Expedition without the spinning axes hit 8 Waffles begged the question in my head. How many axes to the center of 8 Waffles? It's like how many legs to the center of Tootsie Roll, but like, because 8 Waffles is oddly tanky when those axes aren't spinning right now.
Well, it's also what is that? That's the downside of a Draven, but the downside of the Draven is hey, you can get stunned up and you have no mana. Great rebuttal here, granted, as the shutdown goes Satisfaction way. RMC, this bot lane's getting a bit spicy and a bit dicey. I like it right now, as that's a 500 extra gold piece to Satisfaction's pocket.
I don't know, Orbital. I feel like that might be the wrong thing to say, slice and dice. It feels more like a last breath from Bryant to me, if you know what I mean.
Okay. I see how it's going. Earlier you made a wasting pun, which was probably the best one I've heard so far. It was very good.
I actually don't remember the pun. Did I make a wasting pun?
Don't worry about it. What were you saying?
Did I mean to put there? Well, this bot lane. What's interesting is that we're already seeing the action kick off pre-6. 6 is really where things get dangerous for Expedition. That's why Expedition needed a significant lead. Now, giving that 1 kill over, not actually a big deal, because look at what Expedition's coming back in. Last time we flashed gold, 700 gold lead. And now Expedition comes to the lane with a BF sword, as well as a pickaxe. Your only way of winning this lane for Satisfaction and 8 Waffles is to CC the Draven, because if you stand and fight, Draven wins out every time.
And, I mean, at this point, Satisfaction is also realizing that things are also at that point, right? You see with the vision going down, it's hard to even challenge for some of these directions. Granted, of course, Wasting had just recalled and tried to spend their gold. it's still a little bit of a dangerous factor. I'm sitting here going exactly what's going to happen. And on the top side, we know what's going to happen, right? This is played out before. King of Fish, though, eating a lot of damage. Now going into that bear form. Thunderlord comes down, but Smashing Alloy steps out of it. The auto attacks are enough. You aren't respecting that damage. Another lightning strike from the skies, but smashing is just far enough. However, you're not really safe under this tower. We talked about what King of Fish can do. We'll have to look towards mid once again.
That flash is almost up, and the trick here for the Volibear is you go in, you trade, and then you flash back up to safety or in! Outside turret range!
Oh, the knockup! The knockup! That is going to be a trade! But Smashing Alloy makes the best out of a bad situation, is able to trade back. However, Satisfaction might not get that Satisfaction. A good jump in. Expedition isn't stunned, though, so the auto attack still gets to run, and that is a BF pickaxe slamming into the back of your head. Wasting doesn't want anything to do here. Waffles has to run away. One more auto attack will take it. A double knockup. Hurricane Ryan causing a storm in the bot lane. Humble trespass on the wrong member as the swiftness will slow things down. Expedition and Hurricane mowing through this bottom lane.
Welcome to the League of Draven, Orbital. They just, like I said, CC, if it's not there, you just can't deal with it. Unfortunately, Satisfaction K still not level 6, Orbital. No last breath to come through means you simply cannot fight that. And even when Wasting goes down there, so what? The CC was burnt early, coming through from 8 Waffles. You don't have the damage that Satisfaction K would normally bring to the table, and you just can't look down there. And it feels like all the tempo advantage Wasting built up got spent for nothing in the bot lane.
I love that you pointed out the tempo, this feeling of the game, because I also want to throw out a word myself. It's oppressive, right? SMU, every single lane, we're moving over Dom books, which I think is very important. There's not been a single kill in that mid lane, right? But every time we're looking there, Mr. Magic is on what, like 10%, 20% HP? Yes, that's your job. I get that. But at this point, you're like the only lane that has a chance of winning, right? Like, you need this Vladimir to get out and start making some plays. Maybe start to pick up some extra kills by getting out of lane and roaming to top or bot.
I mean, but yeah, Vladimir, like, what's your roam gonna do? I run at you, I ghost, I don't kill you. And that is fine. That's okay. Wasting, push out of his own jungle now, Orbital. And look at who's backing up Cheeky the Fish. Hurricane Ryan has left the bot lane. And Expedition is feeling comfortable enough to say, I can 1v1 this Yasuo. Satisfaction K6, I don't care anymore.
It's just that good. And again, the Thunderlord comes out. That actually might be a detriment, as now the Grubs are going to be started up here. Wasting is taking quite low. Has to get back to safety. Waffles is going to try and run interference. Smashing Alloy still has Unstoppable Force. Take a look at the choke point. Get the ult off? No. You go right back to lane, but Mr. Magic Sheep is on the bot side. Has to flash away from the Q. Another little grub is taken. That will not be forced, but Unstoppable Force is going to be able to collect one. Double knockup again, though, as SMU are running for their lives. Humble Trespass gets in. It's going to slow them down. Cheeky gets over the wall. Hurricane Ryan, though, is very, very low. Another Q should come up. Smite slows them down. Cheeky the Fish will live. Great job by Bryant to not only deny the Void Might, but to deny extra kills. Nice pickup from the side of Bryant.
Huge from Bryant. You're seeing a taste, Orbital, of what they're going to do later on in the game. The Hemo Plague from Mr. Magic Sheep really turning the tides there, amplifying the damage. Now imagine if Satisfaction K was there, because that's what Bryant is imagining, is dreaming of right now.
They are hoping for even more of those scenarios, right? The moments where SMU get a little bit over-aggressive, get a little bit over-eager, and bite off a bit more than they can chew. They're praying for the time that Satisfaction can also start ramping up, get a little bit more aggressive. You know, you had the boots completed, so you can move pretty quickly. But you're just waiting. Everything for Bryant is waiting, and now the question becomes, right? How patient are you? How patient is this Bryant squad to wait for those opportunities to try and take over the game?
And on the other side, SMU, they've got to accelerate the pace of the game. We have to look back to the bot side, Orbital, because now that Grubs are gone, Dragon is the next thing on the board. 30 seconds before it comes up, and Expedition with Infinity Edge completed has just been hammering away on this bot side, pushing in. They might even look for a dive if Cheeky the Fish comes into this bot side. That ward gets disabled immediately.
Good knockup and then the follow through, but a TP following in. Double knockup is enough, though. Bryant might have beaten themselves here. Satisfaction is going to go down. The Wukong Cyclone will be enough. Whirling Death will not finish off anyone. So it's a shutdown to the side of Cheeky the Fish. Smashing Alloy is smashingly defending this tower. But really, what's it for? Dragon is available. It is Hextech to hold, so no soul, but it will be 2 to SMU.
And overall, there's a reason why that skill is called Last Breath. If you're fed, it's your opponent's last breath. If you're not fed and use it on the wrong person, it is your last breath. Satisfaction Key did not even manage to finish off Hurricane Ryan, but you can't be using it on the carries. You've got to use it on the damage threat. Right now, and throughout most of this game, Orbital, even as we scale up, the biggest threat will be Expedition, will be this Draven, and you need to hold it to deal with Expedition.
I also love the fact that we are getting a Cloud Soul of all games to accelerate move speed, to accelerate how quickly you can enter or exit a battle. Cloud is the best way to go, and you know, a lot of people will see raw stats and everything like that. I just love the fact that if we see Soul go to either of these teams, you're not getting away, right? Like these are both teams that literally just want to run you down, and you're now getting what, 3% per dragon of extra move speed, plus about 9% extra if you ult. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, Dombooks take. Dombooks has not completed Malignance, but is still absolutely winning this trade right now. Even with the sustain from Vladimir, it's still hard to match into Karma because she has a shield as well, which is a different form of sustain.
Yeah, and that's the best part, right? For the likes of Dombooks, you've done your job at this point, right? It feels like kind of that stall out. Hurricane Ryan going to go ahead and try and stall out, but a flash forward. I didn't think Wasting was actually going to do this, and now you're in a little bit of trouble. You're now baited in the wrong side of the map, but that's because Special Alloy on the top side is about to win out. Expedition is running away, and it's safe to the rest of the team, but Wasting is there to pick up the kill. Shutdown granted to the main MVP, the one that even SMU, who are watching RMC, all of a sudden this game feels like it's a little bit out of control, as SMU may have stepped up a bit too far. King of Fish also stepping a little bit too close in. Wind does not pick up anyone, but Bryant pick up a very key kill. Wasting gathers a shutdown.
And it was really unfortunate timing for St. Mary's to go for those lane swaps. They were trying to get priority on this top side for Herald, so they rotated the bot lane up there. But Expedition got left alone against the Malphite. And we literally picked this Malphite, as we said before, armor tank, point and click style ultimate, to deal with champions like the AD carries. And then Expedition faces the 1v1, can't deal with it. And all that setup goes to the wayside as Bryant get the free Herald. SMU cannot contest this.
Nope. It's theirs. RMC. This Bryant squad, we said the shift in the draft from game number 1. Game number 1 felt like a gamble. Game number 2 feels a little bit less so. However, for SMU, they're sitting there going, this gamble is now kind of on our side. It's playing out like we said. We are about halfway of the time clock to 30 minutes. We mentioned about 35 to 40 is that timer end. SMU have to keep that in the back of their mind. If they let this game go on any longer, it's dangerous. We want to see them start trying to push this game coordinated in a fashion, or, you know, almost surgically forward to accelerate. And this might be one of those ways, just catching 1 or 2 members.
And props to SMU. I do think they've been playing the strategic game for the most part right. Even that catch in the top side, that was them trying to get the top side advantage. So the strategic call was good. The tactical was kind of where we started seeing a little bit of problems. And we're seeing that, I feel like, here as well. Once again, leaving Expedition alone. They are trying to bait out an attack or bait out some sort of engage, but I am a little bit concerned that Expedition could get locked down in CC.
I like how we're saying bait, because in a 1v2 it's great. In a 1v3 it's a little bit different. Double knockup is there. Exhaust comes down and the triple whirlwind is enough. The Cyclone does way too much though, as the collapse from Bryant will secure a 1-for-1. Double knockup again against SMU as they now have to scatter. Dombooks can do nothing as Cheeky is gutted, is cleaned, is served up for dinner. Bryant win the jungle fight.
Did the bait just get taken and just chewed right off the hook, Orbital? Because Bryant went in for it. And it was a perfect execution from SMU. They got the exhaust on Satisfaction K, who's the right target. But the problem is Expedition was still in the midst of all of that. And so all the dog piling of damage hit the Draven. Once Draven is down, for SMU, what happens? Who's the carry after that? Dombooks trying to show that you can do damage. And it's doing damage, but it's not sustained, and it's not carrying these fights.
Nope. You're just chilling. Really, at this point, you're just trying to ensure that the vision doesn't easily get planted for the Dragon. That's in about 45 seconds. And take a look at where the gold is. Again, look at this chase. Wasting is actually in a bad spot. Really well played. For the rest of SMU, they are now granted, I think, a relatively nice time to try and put some words down. Take a look at where Bryant will be coming from.
Yeah, for Bryant, though, they will still have Wasting back in time to actually contest this Dragon. And to
Right.
me, this fight, Orbital, might be the game-breaking fight because we've seen a lot of sort of back and forths happening, but they're all kind of small skirmishes. We've not really seen the full 5v5 in a neutral setting just yet. And this Drake will be just that. Ultimates should be up in time for it. Maybe not the Whirling Death, but Cyclone, if they can stall a bit longer, will come up. Hemoplague almost back up, and the critical last breath is already ready to go.
And honestly, I'm going to say this now. You can't be sitting on a ward. You should have cleared that out right now. Bryant have all the information that they need, but they're hoping for King of Fish to actually push on their own. They're going to give up this Cloud, which, granted, is not a bad call at all. It's a Cloud Dragon, right? For as much as we were talking about hyping it up, you can get this up, right? No vision. They didn't really want to because King of Fish is so pushing, and you did break it up. But not only that, you get the mid tower as well. So in trade factors, I think SMU, if they can get out alive, are going to be happy about the situation.
That's a big if, though, Orbital. Look at where Expedition is.
Oh, you got greedy. You got greedy and just baited your top laner. The fight breaking out in a way I'm not sure you want. A King of Fish trying to do all three and is able to do some damage. Now, can you get the kill behind? Look at the other side of the fight, though. Bryant deny the backline. That'll be the Cyclone to slow them down. But Dombooks is late to the party. Look at the AoE. Look at the whole Cheeky Fish is still alive. How much longer can you survive for? They are low.
The
Karma's there. Dombooks, the shields, the heals, and the damage. Dombooks, the Karma shows up. The Karma is real. Ace for SMU.
Stop the clock! Check the patch, Orbital, because what are we seeing? They nerfed Karma. They nerfed the skilling aspect of Karma. They nerfed Malignance, and Dombooks carried that fight. I am shocked. I did not think they'd be able to do that. And the question, Orbital, after the last fight, the one prior to this was, what happens when Expedition's down? Who's going to be the carry? And I just said Dombooks wasn't going to be it. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Karma somehow is doing it with the help of Cheeky the Fish.
I mean, I would, and it's a toss-up, right? I almost say a lot of credit because Cheeky is 6-3 and 4, right? Fantastic job through some of these more dangerous skirmishes. Has been able to secure a decent amount of items in the back pocket. I think sat with the blade in there for the Grievous Wounds as well as the Titanic. So you're doing actually quite a bit of damage. So huge props to both of them, right? Really well done. Because that was bad. Let's call it for what it was. Expedition got caught out. King of Fish got out. SMU did one hell of a job to fight that back.
Tactical intake overall. I mean, can you call it getting caught out when you actually end up baiting a fight that you win?
Well, okay, it's a win by a slim margin. Your Karma lived. Like, are we? It said ace across it. I'm not calling it a full win just yet.
we take those overall, and they also did get the turret
true.
as well with the shove. To be fair, so SMU truly they are. This is important to them. I know we're joking a lot about it, but we had kind of set that fight expectation for Dragon up, but it held true in that top side as well. If you lose that fight as SMU, you're very, very scared because at that point, Kane has skilled up. We already see the conversion with Kane is there, with Conqueror very difficult to take down. Mr. Magic Sheep is starting to really hurt and survive with that Rift Maker. One thing, if you stack the Cloud Drakes, it does mean Mr. Magic Sheep is going to have so much more ability to get where he needs to in these fights. Bodies do not block the Sanguine pool. And Satisfaction K is scaling up. Eventually, Yasuo's will all hit the 1v9 point. It's just a question of how long it takes. So for SMU, the lead was slipping. That just bought them more time, made sure that the game didn't tip away from them.
And it gives them a little bit more time to devise a strategy, right? One of the things that we praise them for in game number 1 is their selection, right? How do we take a fight without really losing priority members, or how do we diverge away from priority members? How do we get away from this Master Yi? And this time it's, how do you get away from a Kane? How do you get away from Mr. Magic Sheep? How do you keep satisfaction away from these fights? It's a big question mark that they are going to have to overcome. So taking a look at the current stock, King of Fish once again on side lane duty. 2, 3, and 3 going all in pretty much on this 1v1 build. So keep eyes on what happens here. The wards are not cleared out though on this 4v4 on the top side. Hurricane Ryan is able to gather 3, but nothing else behind. Smashing Alloy could have a 4-man knockup, but doesn't want to take that chance because you don't want to put your team in a bad position.
Yeah, really good patience there, because if Smashing Alloy goes in, they didn't have enough damage to be able to secure that. So it's kind of a waiting game. SMU wanted to bait that out, and the moment the Unstoppable Force goes out, that's when watch for Expedition to pop off, because there's no other easy form of knockup as simple as point as click like as that Unstoppable Force available for Bryant.
With that moment though, SMU were able to layer down quite a bit of vision, but they missed a ward in the back corner. Take a look in the top right of the screen. There's a ward. It's finally pinged out. I was a little bit worried about that because we're talking about entry points. Smashing Alloy, if that ward had stayed up, would have been perfect entry to catch all of SMU. So really, really well spotted. Smart play by SMU.
Yeah, and as this focus has been on the top side, the Baron side, for so long, Orbital, bot side vision has actually lapsed, and we're seeing SMU be first to move, first to start clearing things out. They are doing such a great job denying vision. Thankfully for Bryant, this game they have tanks. So Smashing Alloy can just literally face check these. Just walk in with his face, he's got a shield, and SMU don't have the poke to kind of take him out. See?
Yep. This is and this is the other side, right? The denial vision ends up in these weird little skirmish scenarios, and at that point, it almost comes down to a hands check, right? If you meet up with the opponent in the jungle, it's scary. Dombook's on the top side, also running on their own, and that's going to be a split push scenario, but all 5 of Bryant are currently situated around. I mean, Satisfaction can jump in from far away, right? With that last breath, with that ult, we do have to keep track of it. Take a look at the pings going down. If Satisfaction actually shows on this top side, this could be a force from SMU. I mean, this is really, really scary, RMC.
The fact that it's Red Kane is what's stalling this. Wasting was isolated in the pit, and SMU would not pull the trigger. They are still trying to wait out the engages from Bryant. They're still trying to create space for Expedition. And Orbital, we might be sitting here for a while yet.
I mean, yeah, Dombook has got Satisfaction's not going to join this, right? You know there's not going to be a Yasuo, so it's really, can we catch Mr. Magic Sheep? Dragon has been started. Bryant are trying to bait this one out. Fish goes in, TP calling in, and they're going to get to the back line, but the charge right back is going to lock them up. Waffles misses the Magnet Storm, and because of that, SMU say, it is all ours. It doesn't matter what you try and do. Our carries are still alive, so we will win this outright. SMU slaughter with the blades, with the teeth. King of Fish and Expedition roll. Bryant University.
Wasting, trying to see if he can pick anything up on the back end. Not going to be found in topside Orbital. While the fight was happening, Dombook's teleport got cancelled, but it came at the expense of Satisfaction K's life, so the push succeeds on the top side for SMU as well. They get everything they wanted and more.
Oh man, RMC Karma nerfs what? Fully controlling 1v1 scenarios. SMU basically got the pot and more. They're playing with house money, getting close to it. At least you got Dragon, you put yourself on soul point, you only lost 1, you have extensive gold leads on multiple power members. 10k for King of Fish, 11.8k for Expedition. Your points of power, the people that we were talking about slowing down the rest of the Bryant squad, are hitting those marks, and that is important. Looking at the next global objectives that may be played for.
Yeah, and look at the items as well. Expedition doesn't just sink that into straight power-ups. Bought a mortal reminder specifically to remind Mr. Magic Sheep of their mortality. That's in Vladimir, but we saw in the last fight as well, even through the Hemo Plague, Vladimir can't survive this much damage just yet. And these fights seem to be devolving into, can we kill Expedition fast enough? That last fight, even if Expedition wasn't auto-attacking for the first half of it, it didn't matter because Bryant was so distracted saying, do we go in, do we not, do we go in, do we not? And they ended up splitting that fight. 8 Waffles was not there to help the rest of the team, and the rest of the team was not there to help 8 Waffles, even when 8 Waffles finally got on top of the Expedition.
And I think the other side of it is Bryant are not being allowed to play with their main carry. The entire reason this composition has been built, Satisfaction K, not allowed to play in. I can't really say that's specifically like 80% of SMU just dragging the fights out. It just feels like Bryant cannot allocate those resources right now. On this top side, Dombook's is actually calling in. I was wondering what's going to happen. They're calling the TP in. Wasting it and Smashing Alloy may be in trouble. Wasting is going to be the one on the call because he can kill the jungler. You get Baron. That's going to be the almost chance to deny a little bit longer. 8 Waffles going to run interference. But take a look at the split. Satisfaction may get it, but no, that's just a kill. Remember, King of Fish is so strong. Magnet Storm does nothing. That's just another tether to stall, and SMU get a clear and finalizing fight as they take 3 with very little to give.
Karma is one big bait. Overall, Dombook's is buying so much space for the team. First with the split push before, now with the bait into the top lane, and we are seeing them still look for Duke. Dombook's, you can't do this. 1v2 is illegal.
This is illegal. This is 100% illegal.
Oh my goodness!
And you get the solo kill. Baron is being taken. Dombook said, I am not a utility. I am not just a stall. I am the carry. Level 16 opens up the top lane. Baron They're an on 5 of SMU, and they will continue to fight their way. Wasting is pissed
this, right?
off, says, I want to
They
get
win
this kill, but you don't have anything. You're getting burned down. You have no magic because this Waffle will die as well.
That's an unofficial quadra right now for Dombooks with the way they've been playing. And now you've got a Vladimir, no Hema playing. Mr. Magic Sheep, he's getting shit.
You're dead. Zanyas will only delay the inevitable as SMU, the Huskies, say it is our game to win. They said they wanted to extend their lead. They wanted to extend their record, and they have done so in one of the best ways imaginable. St. Mary's University Huskies will take the series 2-0.
That's insane. That is so crazy. SMU. Think of the early game they had, right? It was a great early game. Expedition got off to a huge rolling start. We saw like a 700 gold lead very quickly snowball to 1,500 and then double and so on and so forth. But the mid game.